Welcome to the Dr. Dare Show. My name is Dr. Frederick Dare. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, and hit that little bell so that you'll get notifications when I put out a new video. So, and why would you want to do that? Because today we are talking about Chapter 2 of the dissertation. And I'm going to provide you tips for Chapter 2, which is the literature review. So, for me, Chapter 2 was the most difficult chapter of the dissertation. Chapter 2 and Chapter 4. And I'll probably do a video on Chapter 4 later. And don't forget to check out I have some other videos. I completed my dissertation, and it gives an overview over all the chapters, so check those out after you finish checking this one out. But anyway, we're back to this one. Chapter 2 is the literature review. And the premise of Chapter 2 is basically just to inform your readers about your research problem by using existing literature. Let that sink in. Chapter 2 is the literature review, and you're reviewing the literature that's going to tell your readers what your research problem is about, what is already known about your research problem. So basically old literature that's talking about the problem that I'm talking about. Okay? So, and for me, I try to keep these videos like in layman's terms because I don't want to be so sophisticated that you don't understand what I'm saying. And probably just like your rubric, it kind of confuses you. I don't want to be that rubric. So, yes, so Chapter 2 is basically you using existing literature to explain what is known about your research problem. And I keep emphasizing that just so it'll sink in. We are going to cover all the pieces of Chapter 2. I want to put this is my disclaimer that every school has a different requirement and a different format for Chapter 2. So you want to use that versus over what I'm saying, because that's what matters to you is your school's requirements. Anyway, so the first section of Chapter 2 is the methods of searching. And what that is you basically explaining how you accessed your existing research and literature. And I wanted to give one tip on that. And I use this process called data mining, which is, okay, you find this article, it's about your research topic, and then you go to the bottom of that research article, and there's references there. You use those references to find another article that pertains to your topic. Because what I found is that sometimes I saturated all the data that I knew how, and I didn't know where to go. But data mining helped me find another research article that I may have missed because it may not stand out. So that's a process, that's one tip I wanted to give you when you're searching for research articles. And so that's your methods of searching. And basically, again, I like to re-emphasize things. It's just how you searched your data, how you found your research articles, your existing research articles. And the process of data mining is one. There's others out there you want to look up. So, the next section is your theoretical orientation of the study. And so what that is, it helps explain how your research problem developed. The theoretical orientation is going to help you explain how your research problem developed. Say if you were exploring African American women who suffer from eating disorders in West Virginia. So the problem is eating disorders that African American women have. And so a theoretical orientation example to explain that problem could be intersectionality theory, which explains, okay, the lady she's a woman, she's an African American, she may be a model, and she may be a mother, and all of those things combined creates her eating disorder. So I used intersectionality theory to explain the eating disorder. And what intersectionality theory, and I don't want to get too much into that, it just says if you have multiple social identities, you will probably have more problems than you would if you only had a single identity. And so then another theoretical orientation is critical race theory. Critical race theory is basically looking at, you're exploring you're exploring society through the lens, through the racial lens, and how certain races have more power than others. So that's kind of the premise of critical race theory. But anyway, the theoretical orientation is just basically, it helps you. It's like, this is a tip, it supports your study. It supports you as well. It tells your audience that you have this theory that's explaining your problem and helping, and that gives you more credibility, right? So, theoretical orientation. Synthesis of the research findings is the next section. And these may be out of order. These may be written differently in your rubric or your requirements for your school, but basically it's the same thing. So when you're synthesizing your existing literature, you basically, you reviewed all this literature, and now you want to tell what you found in that literature. Like what themes appeared in that literature, what patterns of behavior appeared in that literature, what I say oxymorons, like what things were said here but the opposite was said by the same researcher, things like that. And you want to explain that to your reader, like, this is the literature that I found, but these are these themes that appeared to me in the literature. And then the next section is critiques of previous research methods. So what they're asking you to do is basically go look up a qualitative study, a quantitative study, a mixed method study that's similar to your topic, and look for the strengths and weaknesses of those methods, and then tell why you chose your method. Whether it's a qualitative method, say if you're writing and you're using a qualitative method, you may study all the other methods and then just say why I chose the qualitative methodology, because it helps me explain my problem better, or whatever. But you get the gist. All they're wanting you to do is critique and look for the strengths and weaknesses of those existing studies. All of this stuff that I'm saying is coming from existing literature. No more than 5 years, you want to try to stay in that bracket. There are some exceptions, but everything that I just discussed, the methods of searching, theoretical orientation of study, review of the literature, synthesis of the research findings, critiques of the previous research methods, all of that is existing literature, and that is the focus of chapter 2. And then the last section is just to summarize all of that. Give a background of what you found in the literature, give a background of the headings, all of those things. And so, here's just a few more tips. Some schools are different, but usually you should have like 100 to 200 references. Your school may give you a different number, but here I'm giving you that. Again, go with your school. Headings and subheadings. Use them liberally. Use a lot of them to help you organize this section, because that is mainly the problem that I struggled with chapter 2, is that organization. How do I organize this that it makes sense to the reader? It's telling a story. It's providing my readers with the background of my study, because that's what this existing literature is for. It's just saying, here's what's out there about this, and I'm going to take it a step further when I do my study, because I'm going to go get live participants and give me what's happening now. But here's what's known out there from existing literature. And then drafts. You're going to draft this so many times, you're going to get sick of it. You're going to draft and draft and draft and draft and draft. That's enough said about that. Another tip that I tell people is, when you're searching for literature or you're writing this chapter, make sure you have your research problem and topic in plain sight so that you stay on track with what you're writing. You don't want to go off into a tangent writing about a topic that's similar to your research topic but has nothing to do with your research topic. And I found the best way to keep myself on track was just to always keep my topic and problem in plain sight. You with me? Am I making this clear? Hopefully I am. Hopefully I'm not confusing you. And keep a diary or a journal of from the beginning of this process, of your dissertation process, till you start writing, because there's a lot of things that are going to happen during this experience of writing chapter 2 that you want to write down, because you can talk about it later in chapter 5. That was just one tip I wanted to throw in there. So that's it. Those were the tips. Chapter 2, remember, it is basically gathering existing literature to explain your research topic, your research problem. And what you're telling your audience is, here's what's out there already. And then at the end, here's what I'm going to do. But only focus on existing literature in chapter 2 in your literature review. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video. Please subscribe. Don't read it and read the article. Listen to the video and then just sign off. Subscribe, like, and share, and hit the bell. Again, Dr. Dare signing out. Thank you so much.